Most people think content means recording one video a day. We created 906 quality content pieces in a single day with just one recording session. It was fucking brutal. In fact, it almost broke our systems and our sanity. And here are the numbers that we produced that day. 90 Instagram Reels, 90 YouTube Shorts, 90 Facebook videos, 90 TikToks, 180 tweets, 180 threads, 90 LinkedIn posts, 90 ads, and 6 YouTube long-form videos, in total 906 content pieces. But that day changed everything for us because we cracked the code for scaling attention without burning out. And actually all you need is 20 reels, and I will tell you more what that means in a second. And that is the foundation for everything. And then 3 versions of each reel leads to 60 reels, and then you repurpose it to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and ads. So this video is not another batch record, your reels guide. I will show you our infinite content engine that powers 8-figure revenue and how you can apply the same principles even if you're solo. And let me be honest, I used to hate content. So much effort for so little output. You spend 3 hours editing a reel for what, like 5 likes and 0 sales, right? But one question flipped everything. What if content worked like a factory? What if I didn't think like a social media creator, because in fact I'm a SaaS CEO, but like a publishing house, which goes much better together with being a SaaS CEO to market better? And that's when I stopped chasing trends and started building an engine. And I learned that the social media game is not bubbly Gen Z goals taking, selfies, doing random posts, scrolling 24/7 without any structure or plan and no ROI. It is actually shipping quality content at scale with authentic brand faces that attract my ideal customer profiles, then converting these into clients without any sales teams, with automated workflows, making way more profit right from the get-go. To me, the engine changed everything because I could not grasp how to use social media with AI before. And as I couldn't grasp it, I struggled to commit to it. And now as it's clear that it's just a system that works, you can own and use it to acquire clients at 0 cost. And you won't feel held hostage by your business anymore. And this will ultimately enable you to live a free and independent life that is exciting, adventurous, with time for yourself and your family, financial abundance, and where you only focus on the parts of your business that you love and that really drive value to the people out there. And this is the part no one talks about. How I create 906 pieces of quality content in one day, the full setup and system breakdown. So first we will talk about why does it matter? Then we talk about how to actually do it. We go into detail of our infinite content engine, what happens on recording day, and what equipment you need. First of all, like, why does it matter? Look at Hermozi. Hermozi does 1,036 posts a month, and with that he became a billionaire in less than 4 years. He does that together with his wife, and the interesting thing is actually they attract B2B customers. So that means small, medium-sized business founders that make more than 10 million in revenue and more than $1 million in profit. So this is not selling fidget spinners on social media. This is like super B2B. And they do that by offering free business education to then attract their target companies, their ideal customer profiles. They liaise with them at paid workshops, so they already make money with them even before they invest in any company or start due diligence. They already break even on that. Then they invest into these companies for cents on the dollar because they also have distribution power. And then they grow their best performers with their distribution power. And with that, they realize a more than 10x return on the equity, and with that, with 0 external funding, they became billionaires. So do you really have to do 1,036 posts a month in order to become successful? Well, let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Until one day, I had a chat with Grant Cardone about branding, and it reminded me that all the lessons that I'd learned in business applied to all this organic stuff. He was like, bro, pull up your Instagram. And I was like, okay. He's like, pull up my Instagram. He's like, I got 10 times the content as you. 10 times. He's like, bro, it's volume, bro. Volume. I was like, that's deep. And so I was like, I should probably do more, which is a lesson that I have learned over and over and over again in business, and I'll tell you a couple more stories about later. So many times we're doing the right stuff. We're just doing way too little of it. So what you have to do is look at all the platforms, figure out what the max amount is that you can publish on a platform, and then all you do is you crank the volume on all of them at the same time.
And to bring this home, the world today is on their phones consuming content. There are 5 billion social media users today. So that means unless you market to aliens, your target customers are today on social media. And for that reason, you should not call it social media, you should call it business media, because that's today how you get customers. And for that reason, you have to become a publishing house in order to drive customers at low customer acquisition cost to your business and make bank. Now here's where it really gets interesting. The Hermozi ship 1,036 posts with just 2 days of work per month. So they do not see themselves as influencers or content creators, they see themselves as business owners. Now I will show you in a second how to create 906 quality content pieces with just 1 recording day. And to be clear, I'm following Hermozi even before he became famous, and then he collected a $100 million award just a year before we got it. To give you some proof on this is an unlisted video of a closed door mastermind where 8 years ago you see this gentleman over here who is Alex Hermozi before he became famous, sitting front row watching this lady to talk about culture, which is also something that we talk back and forth in Marketing OS. But that was before he became famous. No tank tops, no long hair, no back slick, normal dude. It gets even better, watch this. Okay, before I show you how to produce infinite quality content, where you pick proven content, you produce quality content, you then publish quantities of content, and you promote your best content, I will show you why the number 906 is key here and how to get there. Let's go. Okay, so how to produce 906 quality content pieces in one recording day. We have to prepare, the key thing is to have 20 Instagram reel scripts. 20 IG scripts. Next thing that we do is we create 3 variations of each script. Times 3. That gives us 60 IG scripts. Then we record these 60. That's going to be 60 IG Reels, 60 TikToks, 60 YouTube Shorts, and 60 Facebook videos. That's 240. Then next, out of these 60 scripts, we create 120 tweets. And 120 threads. And 60 LinkedIn posts. So obviously this here is short form, right? This is text. This is 300. So we're now at 540. Let's assume we do this once a month, right? That means that after a couple of months, we see what content is working and we should double down on what is working. So at some point you take the winning scripts and you also create YouTube long form scripts out of that. And that is 6 YouTube long form scripts. And then, because this is long form, you repurpose that again into short form and text. A good ballpark number here is 5 clips, 5 shorts out of every YouTube long form. So for that reason, 5 times 6 is 30. This again is Instagram Reel, 30 TikTok, 30 YouTube Shorts, and 30 Facebook. That's another 120. And then you have another 60. And then you have another 60 tweets, another 60 threads, and another 30 LinkedIn posts. That's another 150. So that means we're at 540, another 270. So we're at 240, 300, 120, 150. That is 540, 660, 710, 810 plus 6 YouTube long form, right? So 816. And then one more thing that you can do now is, because this is just organic, you also want to run paid, right? Like, because in today's world, there's people that do paid and they like still rocks at organic, and people that do organic that still rocks at paid. But the honest answer is both in combination is like symbiotic and the best thing that you can do, and the big guys are doing it. So while like throwing rocks at something that works together, you can create now from all the content that you have here 90 ads. And these are meta ads, short form, anywhere like around 2 minutes, 3 minutes, could also be up to 7 minutes. And you recycle the best hooks, take the best body content, and you add a strong CTA. And if you now add this together, you come to 906 quality content pieces. So the question is how to produce 906 quality content pieces in one single recording day, and the day has 8 hours. Now this is where the system really kicks in. So let's do it. 906 pieces in one day, and that is 8 hours. How do we do it? Well, first, we don't need to produce 906 content pieces because we spoke about all this repurposing and recycling, right? The main thing that we gotta produce are these 60 scripts. That's the main thing. Because from there, we later derive all this text-based stuff. We don't need to record this. This is going to be done separately. Once this is recorded, it goes into 240 Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook vids. And then we have to produce these 6 YouTube long-form content pieces, right? Which, if you do it every month, you actually have these prepared in addition to these, and of course these are derived from previous scripts that you produced, right, or previous reels that you produced and that performed really well. So for that reason, the only thing that you really produce is this and this. which is 66 pieces of content, right? So this already is 66. Now, Reels, of course, you can produce much quicker than a YouTube long form video. For YouTube long form video, which is 6 videos, right? 6 YouTube long form videos, it's 1 hour each. These videos are usually like 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes long, with like preparing for it, like tuning it a little bit, tuning the script, getting everything ready. Easy 1 hour, right? With some buffer. And then over here for a reel, I usually can do 30 reels per hour because I have my scripts already. I take my Osmo Pocket, I have the script behind, and just like do boom, 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 one after the other, right? So I can do 30 per hour. And that of course means here we have 2 hours. This here means we have 6 hours. And in total we have 8 hours, right? I personally would suggest to start off with this and just do it in the morning. So let's say you have a typical day here. Let's say maybe you start at 9, you do 9 to 11, you do this. And then for the rest of the day, maybe do an early lunch break, you get up early, I don't know what you do. Let's say here there's like a little break. And then you do just like long form, this, until you're done. And then what about these here, right? Well, they're derived, these are clips. They are derived from this YouTube long form video. So that means you don't need to produce these separately. It's literally just this and that, and you can do it in one day. So now the question is, how do you get effectively to these scripts? And how do you repurpose that with a big engine where you don't have to do much, but it's all like being taken care of and posted? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so the question was, how do we get to these 60 Instagram scripts? Well, first we only have to find 20 and then we have to create 3 variations. How do we get to 6 really inspiring, strong Instagram scripts? We use something which we call the infinite content engines, and this would be here in the first section, the inspiration engine, where we want to pick proven content that we know that works so that we can repurpose it in our own tone of voice. Let's go. Let's start with the first one, feed. What does feed mean? Feed means if you see something inspiring in your feed, that you could talk about this yourself in your own tone of voice, maybe even better, adding something to it and creating value here for your audience. The question is, how can you pick that item from your feed and repurpose it? So let's say in my feed I saw this video which I really like and I want to repurpose it because I think it's exactly my tone of voice and I can do it, I can add something to it and I can repurpose it in a better way. I grab the link, I do this here in the browser, on the phone, you just grab the link, you copy link on your phone, and I put it here in a private Slack channel that I just post the link, and then I have a make.com automation behind, which here is checking my Slack channel every 15 minutes and grabs whatever's in there and then uses a crawler to get that piece of content. So for the sake of this video, instead of checking every 15 minutes, I run it now immediately. It grabs the video, it starts Epify. Epify is a crawler of, in this case here, Instagram scraper that I picked. It's starting the crawler, it's pulling that piece of content, and once it's finished, which it is now, it will activate another make.com automation where now the actor is finished, it realizes, okay, there's a piece of content in my Epify, it creates the Google Drive folders and puts this here in a content inbox for short form social media inspiration. Here you have Shelby Zapp. This is the first frame, the thumbnail of that video, and here you have the video itself. And then I have another automation which looks for this Google Drive folder and every 15 minutes checks if there's new content, and once it finds it, it actually takes it and puts it into a content production engine, which in this case, let's go back, it already triggered. See, this here is Shelby Zapp, it's now called C645. It got an own ID. It also got the copy that she put in next to the reel. Let's have a look how this looks. If you try to sell the pen, you did it. To sell the pen, you did it wrong. You did it wrong, right? That's the whole thing. And this here is actually what she says in that video. It's the transcription of her actual words, which is also pulled through these make.com automations. So with that, it now goes into the next stage from the inspiration engine to the production engine, where in the production engine, in vertical videos, uncategorized, the new one I will now find here, C645, which is Shelby Zapp, and then I get the original assets, which is the folder that we just had. I have the script here to now produce my own version of it. I can also run more automations here to create one with my tone of voice. And then actually I go into this whole production pipeline where I say, hey, this is actually now something I want to launch. I pick a date for it. I say this is going to be recorded. Let's say my next recording day is whenever it is. Let's say it's next Wednesday. It will be published, doesn't matter, let's say later. And due date where this needs to be ready is actually this Friday. And then this one goes to thumbnail, because first you come up with the idea, then you add the thumbnail, then you add the script. In the scripting phase here, and we talk about that in more detail in another video, you can now either use AI agents or AI copywriters or human copywriters or hybrids to create a script here that you then would review. And then once it's done, it goes into record. And here, this is, this is like the 20 reels that you want to have that you're recording then for recording day. And on recording day, you then just go into the script and you just essentially produce with your equipment, which we're also going to talk about in a second. And once it's recorded, it goes into edit. And then here, an editor could grab that, and then ultimately it's posted. And this can also be done either manually or automated with a tool like Metricool. So going back, let's talk about repurposing real quick. You can create workflows where every time you have a new short that is ready, you create 3 variations of it where you then need to customize the script slightly. And then you would have, you go then from 20 scripts to 60 scripts with that. And of course, you can also say that for every of these 60 scripts, you then create 120 tweets, 120 threads, 60 LinkedIn posts, and if you want, even a blog article or carousels. Yeah, and then for promoting your content, you will pick the content that you think is really bang on, got good engagement, and you want to, for example, promote your long form piece with your short form content, or if you have owned audiences, email lists, you also want to promote your best content because it creates a connection with your audience, and from there your sales close rate will go up and conversions go up. This is a snapshot of my on-the-go recording equipment. This is part of the ultimate work in video setup, which is part of Marketing OS, where media companies act like one. The recording equipment is the best investment you can make, and here's my equipment list. So I have an iPhone setup. If I'm out and about with the iPhone, which exactly which lighting, which mic am I using, which tripod am I using, which mounts. Then if I record on the Osmo, so these reels that we just spoke about, I do with the Osmo. I have my phone behind me with the script, and then I talk straight into the Osmo with the script behind. Because, by the way, everything is scripted on social media because it just delivers the best results. And then this is my travel setup with everything that you need, and here's a snapshot of it. And then my at-home setup with everything that you need, all devices, to create the exact setup that I'm using to run my 8-figure business. And I also put in my backdrop so that you see how this is set up, that it looks good. And here are some action items that you can do in order to copy and steal that whole system. Alright, to wrap this up, this is a reminder that the social media game is actually not bubbly Gen Z girls taking selfies, doing random posts, scrolling 24/7 without any structure or plan and no ROI. It actually is a highly standardized process with brand phases that attract your ideal clients. You already ship quality content at scale, and you convert them with profitable funnels without any sales teams, using automated workflows with AI, and making a ton of profit, scaling profitably to the moon. Alright. That was how I create 906 pieces of content in one day, the full setup and system breakdown.